I was more honored that I get to portray Hilary through this new lens. I think originally Hilary had a storyline that is completely different than mine. So this version of Hilary is a lot more similar to me.
I'm really excited to speak to you. I know we only have 15 minutes, so let's dive right in. So fans know that you love salt, but tell us about the partnership that you built with Pure Leaf Iced Tea. How did this come about?
Yes, the Pure Leaf lower sugar iced tea campaign, honestly, I don't know how it came about. I think maybe they were looking into me and saw kind of what I stand for, or maybe it was just perfect timing. But I think it's been such a wonderful experience getting to align with a brand that has a very, very similar message to me and what I stand for, and the crucial things that I feel like I want to teach young women in life that I've learned through being in this industry.
Now, I read a little bit about the differences in the campaigns between last year and this year. So last year, the campaign was about boundaries, and this year, the campaign is all about balancing the right amount of sweetness, which I feel like can be a metaphor for balancing life. So, how are you learning to do so with you being so booked and busy nowadays?
Honestly, it's an ever changing process. I think for me, I have to really stand firm on my intention. And I'm never trying to do anything with the wrong intentions. I'm really just trying to bring my best to the table at every opportunity. So if that means that some things I have to say no to so that I can be more prepared and more present for other things, then my intention was to just make sure that I'm not doing anything half. I don't know if I can say that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So you mentioned that you feel as if the brand really aligns with what you're trying to represent for, young girls, young women. And what ways do you feel as if you guys connect in that way?
I think especially um, with the messaging and specifically this year's campaign, I get to do this as seen on Pure Leaf infomercial type of thing, where I help fans figure out how to be more subtly sweet and to have more, I guess, of a guideline on how to be that in every circumstance. And I think that's really important to have that inner guideline. I think it's also really fun and interactive this time as well because there's this subtly sweet suggester that I get to use in the campaign. And it's literally like my little buddy to help me with the right responses to certain circumstances. And actually, the fans can possibly win one so they can have the same suggester that I use during the campaign, which is so fun.
Now, as I mentioned, you're booked and busy. You're booked and busy, but I feel like your resurgence really popped off courtesy of the YouTube video that you posted 2 years ago titled What Really Happened, where you explained your hiatus. So, what gave you the courage to tell that story? And do you credit it for some of your success today?
I definitely think being transparent and honest with my audience helped them to see me through a different lens that kind of gave me a whole different trajectory versus if I would have just kept my truths to myself. I think it also helped show how normal I am, my personality, and how relatable my life is, even though I had a different experience. The feelings and the growth, I feel like, is very relatable. Um, for me, how I got the confidence to speak on my journey, I think I kind of had a what else can I do type of situation. It's not like there was a job or an opportunity that would keep me from being authentic and honest. It was like, who's going to take something from me? I'm just trying to figure it out myself. There's no reason to fear. There's no pushback from anyone. It's just me against me. And that's when I had to like, I guess, tell my story more for the people who were interested. If they wanted to pursue any dream and they maybe felt like, man, I'm really close to giving up. I wanted that video. I wanted that commonality. I wanted somebody to tell me this has been really hard, so that I didn't feel like my journey was weirdly difficult. And so I kind of did it for them.
Well, you've done a great job. And then you built a really good rapport with Terrell Grice, and I feel like you received a whole new onset of fans who really got to see your talent as far as your vocals and the different accents that you can do and your
Mhm.
comedy. And now you guys have your own show. So how did your partnership with him and the fans' reaction inspire you to continue to produce music and continue to go at this whole Hollywood game?
I think it just motivated me. There were times where I was really highly motivated, and then there were times where there was no motivation in sight. And working with Terrell, I learned a lot about being a CEO. Terrell created his own platform, and I came from auditions and getting jobs. And so his mindset was so much different than mine. His outlook on life was so much bigger, and it taught me a lot about creating more platforms for myself and being more intentional. Um, and then I think also I got more comfortable showing my personality when I saw fans laughing with me and thinking that I'm funny. I'm like, oh, okay, this is how I feel. So cool. Like when I got that warm response from my personality, it helped me to like be myself even more.
Now, obviously, you and the whole cast, actually, you guys are killing it in Bel-Air, and you are starring as the reimagined Hilary. So we're in season 2 now, and the guys have already been renewed for season 3. So were you nervous about putting your own spin on such an iconic character as Hilary Banks?
I was more honored that I get to portray Hillary through this new lens. I think originally Hillary had a storyline that is completely different than mine. So this version of Hillary is a lot more similar to me. And I think it's fun and refreshing and important to be that dark skin representation, especially on such a show like this that it comes from culture and it is continuing to impact culture.
Now, you said that you guys are your character and that you are very similar. How much of you is in this version of Hillary? Because we know the first one, as much as we loved her, was a little on the ditzier side. And this Hillary is just, glowing up.
Hillary and me are very similar. We're both very goal oriented, very confident, outspoken. And it was so interesting how art imitates life because Hillary also was very vocal on her social media platforms about her dissatisfaction with the industry. And I literally did the same thing. So it was just so weird to get to play that on screen when I did that in real life and it like changed my life. But we're very similar. I would hang out with her.
What's been your favorite part of her character growth from season 1 to season 2?
I think one of my favorite parts is her getting to be in love and boot up with Jazz. Everyone was rooting for that really bad. So I like that the fans got to see that payoff. But I think it's also interesting to show Hillary's vulnerable side. She's not always head honcho in charge. She sometimes is happy to just like be loved on and be open, be emotional. And it shows her vulnerability as well with her not being sure if she wants to pop out with a relationship or how to balance her social media presence and her personal life. That's a real thing. Choosing what you're going to share with social media and how to find those boundaries within yourself to show who you're going to be to your fans. That's a really tough place to be in. So I liked that we got to see Hillary kind of not on point and kind of making mistakes and correcting them. And going through like harder inner dialogues.
Now, outside of Hillary, who is your favorite character on the show?
Now, how I'm gonna say that, and then everybody in the group chat's gonna be mad at me.
Well, you can blame
Um,
me. Tell them that Brenda from Pop Culture asked.
okay, I will say I'm not gonna say a favorite, but the other personality that is very similar to me is of course Will. He's super goofy, lighthearted. He always is like lighting up the room. He's very go-getter. And I think that's the next personality that is closest to me besides Hillary.
Now you're doing a lot as far as filming the show and then ducking into the studios afterwards, and you released your EP. So I'm really excited about your new music. You Can Sing Down, and you are really representing for the R&B girls. So when can we expect the tour of sorts?
I will definitely be having a lot of spot dates this summer, a lot of festivals. And I want to be on an artist tour, like with a more established artist. I think it'd be great for like me learning as a breaking artist how the ropes go. And I haven't been on a tour since I was with Mindless Behavior. So it would be great to do that again as an adult. And that's still in the works. So TBD.
Are you excited to potentially collaborate with some people in music? And if so, who?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's so fun to work with other artists. I'm very collaborative. So even with writing, I like to have other people's ideas and their experiences to help make the song spread to a wider audience, storyline wise. So I'm really excited to do that with my fellow artists as well.
Now, outside of this partnership with Pure Leaf, you mentioned that, your mission is to really inspire, girls within a certain demographic or young women. What other types of partnerships and brand deals are you hoping to establish along the way?
I would really love to one day have my own event, I guess, type of like a yearly thing that I do. Maybe it's like a festival, maybe it's like I don't know, speaking engagement where all these young Black women come and learn from therapists, learn from different career fields, learn from me. And they just come out with a lot more knowledge to help them succeed in the world.
Well, it's been a pleasure speaking with you today.
Absolutely. Have a good rest of your day.